Hello guys, and now in this particular position I want to show you a concept for the black side, and this is a typical position in the Sicilian. And here in this position white has forgotten to play h3, and black has managed to get in knight g4 move, and with the next move of knight takes f2, uh, the bishop on e7, the dark squared bishop. After the black knight takes the white's bishop on f2, the black's dark squared bishop is unopposed. He has no counter oppose, so and he will become a strong attacking piece and will bring victory to black. And I'll be showing you a model game between Anand and Ivanchuk. And Ivanchuk playing the black side wins over Anand, and that's what I want to highlight in this position. Uh, so we will look at another position. So in this position the pawns are in a3, b2, c2, and on the king side the pawns are in e4, f4, g4, and h3, and the bishop on g2, and another bishop on e3, and queen on e2, and rook on d1, and king on c1, the knight on c3 and b3, and another rook placed on h1, and on the black side on h6, g7 and f7, and knight on f6 and d7, and e5 and d6, and bishop on e7, and king on e8, and rook on h8. Now queen on b8, and rook on c8, and bishop on b7, and bishop pawn on a6 and b5, and I think that's all for this position. And this is the position, guys. I'll show you from the black side. And what I want to highlight in this position is the frequency with which black offers the exchange sacrifice, that is rook takes c3, in the Sicilian can hardly be overestimated. In the position it is clear that white's pawn formation will be weakened by the capture on c3. The strategic compensation offered by the resulting outpost for black's knight as well as the open c file is clearly at very least sufficient. Since the white rooks can't really play a role in this position, we can see that positions resulting from such exchange sacrifices can lead to inversions of the usual statement that rooks have higher value than minor pieces. So as you can see in lot of Sicilian uh, positions, when the white king is castled queen side, there will be an exchange sacrifice on c3 to weaken his pawn structure and to attack the king, and also the other knight gets an outpost. So black knight gets outpost on c5 or a5. He can go to, or the knight can go to a5 then to c4, like that he can reroute his knight. So these are all the benefits of this exchange sacrifice. So guys, one last another question I'll be showing you for black. And here the pawns are in h6 and g5, rook on h8, and pawns on f7, e6, d6, b5, a6, a3, b2, c2, and e4, f4, g4, and h2, and the bishops on g2, f2, rook on h1, another rook on e1, king on c1, knight on c3 and d4, f6, knights on d7, then king on e8, queen c7, then bishop b7, then rook e8, and the white queen on f3. So this is the position, and bishop on e7. So this is the position, guys. I'll show you from the black side. So in this position, black's last move was g5. Black initiates the battle for the e5 square. So the main theme of this position, in this typical position of Sicilian, it is the e5 square that black wants. So he pushes g5. Since white previously played g4, he can no longer reinforce f4 with another pawn. The f pawn will advance or be exchanged, and immediately black will spring into e5 with his knight. So black will put his knight on e5. The knight stands amazingly on e5, blocking the e4 pawn. And also the g2 bishop will also be blocked because of that. So and the g4 pawn will also be attacked. The g4 pawn will also be attacked, and also last but not least, the giving extra protection to the f7 pawn, which so frequently becomes a target. The knight may later explore prospects against white's castle setup on the queen side using the c4 square. So as you can see, when the e5 square, e5 outpost is been taken by the black knight, it will become an 8-legged octopus covering lot of squares like the f7, g4, c4, and d3. All these squares will be covered, f3, like so on. And also it will be a nice blockading piece for the e4 pawn. So this is what I want to highlight in this position, typical position. And I'll be showing you a model game between Karyakin and MVL using this concept. So thank you all guys. I will be meeting you in the next video with the concept for white.